If that's a statement, I think it's a sin. Not that the first man to walk the moon ever soiled himself in the seedy, sordid political debates of Earth. But Neil,
nationwide as she's double dipping for the second straight week. A little bit later on, Greg Lippard took us to the opening practice.
Quality cars plus an exceptional certified pre-owned program. Good news for the second owner.
Take care of my car.
Experience the summer bounty event by September 4th with 1.9% APR for 60 months and a complimentary first month's payment on certified pre-owned Audi lines.
Meet a group of people who need to drink alcohol in order to survive.
I love drinking.
Step inside their world and see why they need to consume the nectar of the gods. An all-new Taboo premieres tomorrow at 10 on National Geographic. You think your Mondays are tough? Mondays on Nat Geo are high-powered
I'm scared for my life.
and high-intensity.
Oh, they got him. Good job.
It all starts with Border Wars at 9, followed by Locked Up Abroad at 10. Mondays only on National Geographic.
The lookouts still haven't seen the iceberg. It is only 1,000 yards away.
Ice Bay, right ahead.
hard a starboard!
After putting the ship's engines into reverse, the officer on the bridge's instinct is to steer away from the iceberg. The collision is so gentle that many of the passengers and crew sleep through it. Cooper McCarty re-examines the survivor testimonies.
Some people barely felt it. Some explained it as sort of a glancing blow, a shudder, but not something that moved them across the ship. Fireman Barrett was one of the most important pieces of testimony. He talked about standing in boiler room number 6 and seeing water coming in.
Your name is Frederick Barrett.
Yes,
Now just tell us what happened that you saw.
install that. Red light goes on when the ship's supposed to stop. This red light came on. I'm the man in charge of the watch. I called out. Shut all down.
What was the next thing that happened?
The crash happened before we had the door shut.
Where was this crash?
Water came pouring in 2 feet above the Stockholm plate.
Can you point to where that is on the ship?
Ship's side was torn from the first stokehold forward. Barrett is one of the few firemen that manages to escape before the bulkhead doors close. Forensic metallurgist Cooper McCarty believes the only way the side of the ship could tear is if the seams had split open, suggesting that maybe there was a problem with the rivets.
Fireman Barrett's testimony suggests that the damage wasn't due to fracture mid-plate or in the whole place. Instead, it suggests that there may be something wrong with the seams. Maybe the question was really in the rivets, the quality of the rivets.
Her suspicions are confirmed when she analyzes the 46 rivets retrieved in 1998 during an expedition to the wreck of the Titanic. Some are found to be made of steel, and some are wrought iron.
The first step in the forensic investigation was to find out what those rivets were made of and how that material would act under different mechanical tests.
The builders of the Titanic are convinced that iron rivets in the bow section would be strong enough to seal the plates. To explore the effects of using wrought iron rather than steel, a section of the Titanic's hull is reproduced, using steel plates held together by iron rivets.
We compared the wrought iron rivet to a steel rivet and found that with just very little movement of the steel plate, 5 millimeters, you would reach a point in the wrought iron rivet when it would begin to fail.
The test simulates the amount of pressure the Titanic's hull would have been under after the collision. As the rivets snap one at a time, the Titanic's hull opens like a zipper.
So here we have a ship that's unsinkable, that's state-of-the-art for 1912, that's built with 1.5-inch thick steel plates and wrought iron rivets.
Wrought iron produced in 1911 was about 1/3 weaker than steel of the same era, but still it should have been strong enough to hold the hull together. Could something else have weakened the rivets? To find out, Hooper McCarty examines the 100-year-old rivets under an electron microscope and finds large impurities embedded in the structure of the iron.
When you look at wrought iron, you see a combination of both iron, or pure iron, and these impurities that are caught in particles known as slag. Slag can actually strengthen the wrought iron in one direction, but it can weaken it in the opposite direction, in the perpendicular direction.
Using iron was a compromise anyway, but this particular iron was flawed. When the wrought iron rivets were hammered into place, the slag particles were at a 90-degree angle. It created a weakness in the head of the rivets. It is a defect that might have gone unnoticed had the ship not struck the iceberg.
During the collision that night, those weak rivets couldn't withstand that force, and their heads popped. What Fireman Barrett was probably describing was a parted seam due to the popping of rivet heads.